Welcome to Holding Space. Michael Zinn is a visual producer and creative photographer using his imaginative visionary energy to channel Zen and hold space for spiritual and innovative discussion. Each episode creates a supportive, accepting, and open environment that allows exploration and expertise to come together with engaging and entertaining convergence. With guest and community all helping the shape of the way, Michael is grateful to be together to hold space. Now here is your host of Holding Space, Michael Zinn.
Yes, here I am. It's Tuesday. It's time to hold some space. I got to tell you, it's kind of weird to sit here and watch an intro of somebody talking about you. But I got to say, I am grateful for the opportunity to be here and hold space. The Sacred Spiral Network is an amazing, amazing place where you can see lots of different metaphysically gifted folks doing their thing. Lots of great discussions. Kelly Brickle has done an amazing job putting together an amazing group of shows, an amazing group of people, an amazing audience. You guys who are here in the audience all the time are amazing. I'm not sure what's going on. I see a bunch of people there. Oh, I see KB popping up. So we got this new little comments in the corner, which is a kind of cool new StreamYard thing, so everybody could see who's here. Hola, Tim. What's up, Evelyn? We are hashtag living it. That means that if you could just please type in hashtag live into the comments, that will poke at the algorithm and say, hey, look over here, and tell people to come tune in and, you know, relax and hold some space and all be here together. So if you've been here before, I hope that you're prepared to do our little breathing exercise. So every episode, I like to ring my bowl sage, my singing bowl, and I like to do a little breath to ground us together, breathing in through the nose and pushing out all of that pent up gunk from the day, stuff that's just built up, thoughts and feelings and just stuff that you don't necessarily need to hold on to. So let's do that. What's up, Michelle? Olivier, nice to see you here. So I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to kind of have it ringing out, but while I do that, I'm going to be breathing in and out. It's kind of, I've realized it's kind of tough to guide and count and breathe at the same time and do the circle thing. So if you guys will just follow along, play along with me for the next, 60 seconds. Let's do this. Sage, how you doing? Breathing in. Push it out. Breathe it in. Push it out. One more time. Let's breathe in the sunshine and the light. And let's just breathe out what we don't need. Let sage ring out. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. I love it so much. Thank you guys for indulging me in that little breathing thing. If you've done it along with me, you're feeling pretty good now. I love the physiological effects that you get just from taking 3 breaths, focusing on them and just enjoying them, and then you're feeling as good as I am right now, just knowing that breathing is amazing. I feel like the comments are a little bit small, but I guess I watch a little small monitor on my screen, so if you guys can read the comments, that's great. Sending good vibes your way. Evelyn is again out there sending, I love the way the audience talks to each other and sends each other good vibes. That's one of my favorite parts of Sacred Spiral, what you guys do on your own with your own energy. Very, very cool. So I was also thinking right before I started this show, it's kind of funny. Sometimes I forget. I was like, oh, wait, am I running the live stream of consciousness intro or the holding space intro. I do another show called the live stream of consciousness, and they're both very similar. They're both high vibe. They're both amazing guests. But this one is holding space. So I ran the right intro. And tonight I actually have somebody local to me, somebody who I've met in person, started working with on a, I guess kind of, I guess like a collaboration level, or just kind of just working together. She is an amazing yoga instructor working kind of in the spiritual community, but also a hairstylist and a beautician working in the beauty community. And there's just an amazing connection that she made called the Bliss Beauty Balance Lifestyle, which she's going to tell us all about. So I'm excited to talk to her about that. So welcome to Holding Space, Lori Anna. How you doing, Lori?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
You are? Oh, that's awesome. That's an honor that you're honored.
It's so incredible that you started with the breathing. It's like here I'm coming on to actually talk about breath work and how powerful it is. And yet every time I do it myself, every single time, it's like I'm still amazed.
Exactly. And that's why I do it, because it's like, it's literally only 3 breaths. And when I'm done with it, I'm like, there's this immediately like this wash of gratitude, right? Like, oh my God, that was so simple. And there's this physiological kind of buzz, right? Just an immediate, like just buzz and calming sensation. It's really cool. And actually interesting, Tyler Engel, who I had on the live stream of consciousness, told me about this thing I didn't know about with breath that's related to kind of an innate thing with babies, and that's that double breath. Do you know about that? Like,
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so when a baby's crying, you see they're really like, wah, wah, and then they go and they do that double breath. If you do that, like if you just actually do that, you're instantly calmed. It's an amazing physiological effect that I was like amazed, and then I started trying it, and I was like, oh my God, that really works. And I didn't know that before, but very cool. And Michelle is saying I actually do feel better as well. I love that. Exactly. And it's so simple. All it is, what do? We just breathe together. We breathe in and we breathe out. And I think also the intention of like kind of releasing things that you don't need. I think that's another aspect of it. So very cool.
Yeah, it totally calms me down, because just 3 minutes before that I was having technological issues and I was all hyper, and then I was like, oh, okay.
And now here we are. So I was telling everybody about your Bliss Beauty Balance Lifestyle. I know I met you kind of in the spiritual end of what you do through like a spiritual community thing. And I was talking at an event. I think that's where we met. Is that?
Yes.
I was talking about doing a broadcast, and interestingly enough, we've reconnected. It's probably about a year later. And you came to me and you said, I want to do a show. I'm ready to do it. So,
well, you're being humble, because I called you because, also, yes, well, that was an extra exciting thing, but I called upon you to help me with some editing to try to get this YouTube channel looking more professional that I've been dabbling with. So right. You're a great video editor and artist, and so it started professionally, and then we just talked up a storm about all these spiritual things. So
yeah, totally. Well,
so you're just being a little humble about your many talents.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
To help me with, especially since you kind of understand what the spiritual community is doing different than corporate kind of editing work and that kind of stuff. So
yeah. You know what? It's actually brought me a lot of. I'm grateful for that, because it's brought me to a lot of experiences that are pretty cool. Breath work being one of them, right? Being able to witness a breath work kind of workshop, very, very intense. And then, kind of editing that stuff that I documented, kind of going through it again, right? Watching the people experience it again and going through it again. And then almost a year later, going to my Costa Rica retreat and experiencing breathwork for myself. Not quite as intense as some of the people that I saw, but extremely viscerally and extremely spiritually. Like I definitely had an experience of being in my body and out of my body at the same time, kind of thing. And I've talked about it here on the show before, but it is really, really incredible that it's just such a simple thing as breathing that can allow you to kind of reach these physical and mental states, and emotional states. I find it
Exactly. It gets
fascinating.
more advanced as you go, but just the basics do so much.
Yeah. It's amazing. So, all right. So let's, I'm here to hold some space for you and talk
Okay.
about what you do, your lifestyle. And it's interesting to me because I think that a lot of times there's what's the right word? A misconception, I guess, about like the beauty aspect of it, right? Like, oh, that's not really spiritual. You're so like wrapped up in yourself. But self-love is one of the biggest aspects of spirituality to me, and I think that there's an aspect of what you do that is self-love, and I want to hear what you think all
Thank
about
you.
it.
So perfect way to start. Whenever I'm in the spiritual spaces, I always want to start with the yoga and the meditation, but perfect way to start my story. Um, I don't know. Ever since I was a little girl, like literally 3 years old, I always liked all things pretty and like to get dressed up. I know this sounds a little corny right now, so hang in there with me. We'll get to the
No,
good stuff.
it
But
doesn't sound
I
corny.
always liked all things pretty. I mean, I saw pictures from when I was little, and all the kids were like in jeans and overalls and ripped jeans. And I'm like, Mom, why am I wearing a dress? She's like, Laura, you always wanted to wear a dress. So that was like way back in the day. I just always liked all things pretty. And I always, and I grew up and I became a hairdresser. But I think I was creative, and my art, my canvas was the hair. But
Mhm.
deep down, and a lot of hairstylists say this, we like to make people feel good. And when
Mhm.
you look good, you feel good. So I
Mhm.
always like to see the transition of people coming in the salon and maybe all harried from the day and feeling slumped, and then they would leave feeling so great. And part of that wasn't just the appearance, it would be that they'd come in all rushed from a busy day and stressed out and upset about things. And once they were forced to sit down in the chair and maybe have a cup of coffee, they didn't even realize that they also relaxed because they
Mhm.
had to sit still.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I always loved that whole transformation, and there'd be like little therapy and relaxing, and they get to
Mhm.
talk about themselves. And yeah, I'm glad that you noticed that, because it is special, and it's
Mhm.
not just vain. It's taking care of your body. Like, our body is our house for our soul, and it's okay to decorate our body, and keep
Yeah.
it. We want to keep it healthy, just like a house. People want to keep the outside of their house nice and the inside of their house nice,
Mhm. Mhm.
and always having that, in balance. And I like to think our body is a house for our soul. And of course, everything in moderation. I say you want to color your hair because you love yourself, not because you hate yourself. So if you love yourself so much that you decide you don't want to color your hair because you like it the way it is, that's wonderful. But if you want to add something to it, as long as you're doing it out of love, but not out of like, you know,
Vanity, right?
yeah, like hate.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no,
that's way
exactly.
too
And
much.
that's what I was talking about, where I feel like there's a little misconception of it, a lot of times, because the beauty industry seems to be on one side of the spectrum from the spiritual like industry, right? But that's industry, that's business. We're talking business, and I know that everybody's different. And yes, to some people, appearance is important, and in the way that you're saying, like it makes you feel good to be aware of your appearance and to take care of your appearance. Some people don't really care about mowing their lawns, right? But some people want to have a nice lawn and a nice manicured house, and everybody's different. It's all good, I think. Yes, there's different aspects that I think you're talking about when you're talking about our bodies and health and being healthy, right? I don't think you should let your body kind of, go to waste. But that's more fitness
And
than
even
beauty.
basic grooming with your hair, like even like just trimming your hair, and some
Mhm.
people will take it further, but it's
Mhm.
taking care of yourself. I mean, that's I think how it began back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Bernadette says, I love doing hair. I have lots of colors in my hair. It's how my soul speaks. I get lots of compliments from everybody, even people driving by.
Thank you. And that's also expressing yourself. Oh my gosh, I just got chills. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, those are the things that I think are misunderstood, about what you're doing in the beauty industry. And I love that you've now combined the yoga and the beauty and into bliss, right? Into happiness.
Yeah, so I finally figured out how to combine it. People used to say, oh, she's a yoga instructor and a hairdresser, and people didn't really get it. And I had this vision. I think I'm finally explaining my vision better because you're getting
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
So it's really that I help people with inner outer beauty.
Hmm.
And now I do have a private suite. Not that I'm trying to sell it, but it's one-on-one. And I also add in it's first of all, even without adding anything in, it's just a really one-on-one relaxing atmosphere,
Hmm.
and you could really relax and have a private experience. And I
Hmm.
do energy healing as well.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then I'll say meet me on the yoga mat for the inner beauty. And a story I usually share. I have a workshop I do called Yoga for Inner Beauty. I think it was like in the 90s. I was listening to Tony Robbins, and I don't know why I remember this so well. It was his cassette tapes. I was listening
I
to.
remember the Tony Robbins cassette tapes.
You
I
know,
actually
I
remember
have
that.
to find this exact one now that I think about it, because I've been trying to quote this, but he had a shtick where he talks about how people feel good when they get dressed up. And you go into a wedding or something, like, and all of a sudden you like look in the mirror, you're like, hey, I look good, for guys and girls, once we get dressed up. And that's why
Yeah.
sometimes it is important to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
But he was saying that we're really supposed to feel good from the inside first, before we get dressed up.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
and I feel like I innately knew this my whole life. I don't, because I feel like I heard it before Tony Robbins, but I
Hmm.
just remember a big light bulb going off. But I also remember saying, yeah, we're supposed to, but we're human, and you don't really do that. It's not, we don't really feel good. We're always thinking when we get not even just looks, when we get the new car, when we're the perfect weight, when we're this, but then maybe you're going somewhere and you get dressed up, and for me, I put my red lipstick on, and okay, now I could feel good. So I just remember thinking, yeah, but you're supposed to feel good from the inside first, but how do you really do that? And I
Right.
really thought that you kind of couldn't do it
Hmm.
until you had all the outside things,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
until you just had a good day one day, and at least you got dressed up. For me, I covered up my stomach, I covered up the imperfect spots and accentuated the better spots, put the lipstick on.
Right.
But when I went to that yoga mat, it happens for me. It
Mm.
happens for me when you practice yoga. And real quick, I'll get into this more later, but yoga is just about being present.
Mm.
And you tune into yourself, your soul, and you have moments. We all daydream like crazy. As humans, we're always in the past and we're in the future, every one of us,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
we still may do it a lot on the yoga mat, but you get some moments, especially at the beginning, you at least get some moments where you're present. And I remember after practicing, maybe I was already practicing a year. It doesn't happen right away.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel like it may have been even sooner. Yeah, probably I was practicing at least a year.
Mhm.
And suddenly you get that you're in the present moment when you're connected to your true soul. Our
Mhm.
soul is love. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden you're not worrying about what you look like. You're not
Right.
like self-conscious of how you look
Right.
in your yoga pants. And this
Right.
is so most people, they get passionate about things that they might have had issues with. So listen, a lot of maybe someone so I'm like speaking, I'm giving up for my, this is how I was,
Sure.
oh my God, I know, oh my God, my stomach's rolling over, and people always say, oh, my boobs are in the way, my arms are too short, this, but all of a sudden that all goes away as you get into that meditative state and you just tune into your soul, and there's just love. So the more you practice this, and there's many different ways to get there, there's many different paths to yoga, there's many different ways to get here, breath work,
Hmm.
and I'll get into this later. There's so many different ways to get there.
Hmm.
But when you're in the present moment and you connect to your soul, the soul is love, the soul is beautiful. And the more you practice, you're less self-conscious and you love yourself more. And you do shine from the inside out, and you do feel good and look pretty, and you can feel good on
Hmm.
days that you're not all dressed up, and you
Yeah,
can feel good if you don't have the new car, if the relationship's not perfect and everything isn't perfect. You learn to feel good the more you practice connecting to your soul, because our souls
absolutely.
are love and beautiful. And
Absolutely. I was amazed that you said that, right? That you said it was about the moment, right? The yoga part, because I was actually thinking, and it's interesting because Steven Durante popped up. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Steven Durante is a mentor of mine who kind of got me into meditation through his guided meditations. And one of the biggest things that he talked about was being present, being in the moment, right? Getting off the hamster wheel for just a moment, and not just getting off the hamster wheel, right, but noticing that you're getting off the hamster wheel, like intentionally saying, I'm getting off the hamster wheel, I'm going to be in this moment. And for meditation in particular, that's what we were there to do. And so he's like, that's what you're here to do, so forget about everything else for the day that happened during the day, right? And it was part of bringing you into that state of being in the moment. Now, you said something earlier, which I never even realized. And I guess it could be true or it could not be true, depending on how you are. And I'm imagining this is part of you and who you are and what you do, right? And that is the hairstyling thing, where you said people sit down in the chair and they have to be in the moment. They can't go anywhere. They're in that moment. You have this captive audience. Now, I was thinking of it two ways. They could get on their phone, which probably they can't do if you're doing their hair, or you, as the intuitive that you are and the spiritual person that you are, has that moment to hold space for them and engage them in that moment, talk to them and be their therapist for the moment, or just be a friend, or just be somebody who's like, okay, be the moment coach, right? You're here in my moment, I'm doing your hair, and we're going to spend this moment together. Really, really powerful, a moment that you kind of, have take a big part in. I definitely, it's starting to make a lot of sense to me what you're doing.
thank you. And now that I have the private room, it's funny because that explains also what you just said, explains what I said before. It happens even more in this private room. I think in the big salons, it happens in the big salons too. So
Mhm.
I'm not knocking anything, but
Sure.
it
Yeah,
happens
yeah, yeah.
even
Of course.
more in this room because they can't watch everything
It's a
that's
deeper
going
level.
on.
It's a deeper
It's a
level of
deeper
moment.
level of
Yeah.
what it used to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And also I think about the moment, and forgive me because I'm just like responding, I'm just thinking out loud, but that moment is also about connection, right? That's what you bringing to the picture, is this connection, to somebody else in a moment that's not connected to the outside world, right? And kind of like you become almost like the meditation guide, or you become the therapist for that moment, for that person, right? The safe space.
It's a safe space. Yeah, it's funny. People, it's Bliss Beauty, but sometimes people they start calling it the vault because I hear all the secrets and it's the vault.
Mhm.
It's the safe space, the vault. And I do also add, because I do energy healing, so I finally found a way to kind of add on a little energy healing to it if they want. But just the atmosphere itself is that way as well.
Sure, sure. Well, I think, and here's where I'm going to say the same thing you said to me. You're selling yourself short, right? Because you're coming into this situation with complete intention, like complete intention, like the energetic part, the therapeutic part, the holding space part, and the making you look good part. All of that. I think that's great. I think that's it makes a lot of sense. So tell me some stories. You must have some good stories. Has there ever been somebody who came in that was really tough, like you had to kind of bring them into a place that they were resistant to being in a good place? They were like grumpy and still holding on to that energy, or you just like wipe it away right away?
Yeah, I think funny, that's what I'm really even working on now. I think I can't think of anything crazy, but I think what I've been really working on is my own practicing what I preach. When I practice what I preach, my life goes so good. So one of the things is if I set my intention and I'm on a high vibration, they can't really complain too much. They can't really act out that much.
Yeah.
My vibration,
You're setting the frequency, the vibration
the
of the
frequency.
environment. Yeah.
And even I was having a little anxiety this morning and the stress of the world, and I was worried if people were going to come in. They sometimes just come in and maybe they just want to start venting to me, and they don't realize that that now they're throwing up all over me. So I'm thinking how I have to protect my energy. So the advice that I give to everyone, and the more you practice meditating and yoga and keeping your vibration high, it really works like magic. If I'm on a high vibration, I don't have to deal with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll start, and sometimes I joke around, okay, champagne problems or whatever, and, say something to get them out of their mood. But the key is for me, I can't even remember drama stories from years ago, and I can't even remember any right now because
That's
we're
great.
in a peaceful state. But I think, just to share that, even that personal thing. And today I ended up having a great day. And honestly, I really should have intentionally tried to raise my vibration more today, like practice what I would preach. And,
Right.
you forget. But I think I've been on a good vibration because it was kind of miraculous. So it's just so important. And I do want to get into that because it's such a key word, a buzzword. Everyone's saying raise your vibe, raise your vibe. And how do people really know how to raise their vibe if they're
Mm-hmm.
not surrounded by all of this?
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Mm-hmm.
yoga pose I do in yoga where we do a raise your vibration pose, and it's tonight before the call I listened to that 70s music. I don't know if Steve is still listening. Is Steve still out there?
That 70s band, yeah.
I love I love that. I said, wait, let me just put on this music for like 5 minutes before I go on the call to raise my vibration. So raising your vibe is like just something that makes you feel good, or intentionally, the gratitude list, okay, I'm going to have a good day today. I was worried this morning that people were going to come in and, talk about politics, and
Right.
I
Sure.
was very fearful, and I need to just really keep raising my vibration, and then
Yeah.
that won't happen.
And that's, again, sometimes you get reminded, right? We're all human and we all forget, right? But you just reminded me that even just putting on a song that makes you feel good, right? And even one, I think I'm going to even go even further, put on a song that makes you jump, that makes you dance, that makes you move your body around.
Yes.
Like put that on and just do it. Like just be alone in the room so you don't care who's watching, because nobody's watching. That, again, there's that physiological effect that you feel when you're done doing that. You're just like, holy crap, I feel like I'm high, because it just feels so good to do. Yeah.
The movement, yeah. And and music. I mean, and even at the salon, clients always compliment the music I have on. It's kind of like I try to make it relaxing, but
Mm-hmm.
also kind of cool, whatever. So I'm always surprised because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not usually kind of good at that. But for some reason, all the ages like that because music is important, Yeah, since you just brought up movement, can I talk a little bit about yoga?
Let's do it. Let's move. Look at that. Perfect.
Perfect. So I'm almost even in this space where people are most likely spiritual, the word yoga is so misunderstood that I'm almost afraid, even when I say yoga, that people are like, oh, yoga. it's so misunderstood. And like I was saying before, the definition of it, the ancient definition meant to yoke, which means to connect the mind, body, and spirit. Our mind, body, and spirit is already connected, but we forget because of all the distractions. And it just simply means to be present. I know I said this before, but as humans, we're in the past and the future. And it's just such a gift when we're in the present moment.
Totally.
And that's really all yoga is. And the poses don't even come until later on. It's the mind stuff first. And I want to touch on that, but also if you're in the present moment, not everyone loves yoga, but if you're in the present moment, your morning walk could be called yoga. Meditation could be called yoga. Yoga is meditation. Meditation is yoga without the movement, but it's the breath work and meditating and being. So I do want to talk about why the movement part is important to me. But before that, which really that led into the movement, but before that, people always picture yoga as twisting like a pretzel. And the reason I fell in love with yoga was not so much from twisting like a pretzel. It was when I learned about the mind stuff, which is called the 8 limbs of yoga. And this is number 1 and number 2, and the poses don't even come until number 3. And I just have these notes, which I don't need, but the mind stuff is the first limb of yoga is practicing nonviolence, truthfulness, non-stealing, everything in moderation, non-greediness, simplicity. And these codes, everyone will be like, oh, yeah, of course, I'm not violent. Oh, yeah, I don't steal. Oh, yeah, of course, But when you really get deep into it, like the first one, nonviolence, of course, most of us don't go around beating people up or shooting people or anything like that. But it's about being nonviolent in your thoughts and your speech to other people and yourself. So it first starts with yourself. And we practice that on the mat as we go through the movements and watching our self-talk with ourselves. And our body hears everything that our mind tells it. So I love to practice mantras with the meditations and the yoga. And, practicing everything in moderation, just, non-stealing. Non-stealing, most of us don't go to the store and steal, but especially with the text messages now, non-stealing could be not stealing someone's time. And we've all gotten so out of control with this. And I feel like if the world just practiced these, it's not a religion. Yoga is not a religion. It's just being mindful.
Yeah,
there's present with one another, and whatever religion you are and whatever you believe in, it matches. So when you have a constant practice, it starts to, and meditation, meditation and mindfulness goes over a lot of these things too in a different way. So I like, and that this is what really got me. And you were doing an interview with someone. It might have been the person you mentioned the other day. I heard you say something about people taking responsibility for themselves. And that's what yoga did for me, which is very freeing. It's very freeing when you learn about to be yourself. And I mean, it's so deep. And I'm just saying this but you get freedom, because when you study mindfulness, and I'd rather use the word mindfulness than yoga and mindful movement. Yoga just has such a connotation to it.
Sure.
So, but this is what I learned from the yoga studies and these codes, and you actually practice them on the mat. So, yeah, taking responsibility for your thoughts and your actions, and then you learn to not take things personally, and it goes down to a whole thing. And now the movement is important. So I had hip surgery, and I didn't do yoga for like 2 years. I was actually going to formal meditation classes. I went to to Steve's meditation classes. And I needed the formal. Sometimes I need the formal to get me in a habit before I do it on my own. And that was so wonderful. So I was doing breath work and regular meditation. But me personally, I love the yoga movements, just like you said about dancing. So the movements teach us so much. While we're doing the movement, you breathe. And if you're not breathing, you're not doing yoga. It's all about the breath. And I was going to say at the beginning when you did your breath work that people laugh and they say, Lori, of course I'm breathing. If I wasn't breathing, I wouldn't be alive.
Right. That's not the same thing. Right. It's true. It's true, but that's not, but that you're missing the point.
Right. Because it's, I think it's about being present and focusing on the breath.
Yeah, right.
Simple as that.
And that's what's so amazing is that's what's so amazing about life and breathing is that we don't have to think about it. That's why it is life, right? Because we get to do other stuff while our body does it and our brain does it. I just want to address this because this has actually come up for me personally. Courtney Lopez is talking about the Ho'oponopono. I think that's how you say it. Prayer.
Love that.
Which is,
I just said it crazy. Oh my gosh, on video for the world to say.
Oh my God. But it is such a, if you have experienced it, just even listening to it, and if you've listened to it, most likely you're listening to it in some sort of I don't want to say event, but like some sort of context, right? And for me, the first time I heard that was a group, workshop, some of the breath work. I think it was part of the breath work. But what you're saying about yoga and mindfulness and meditation and even this prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It's a mantra, right? All of these things to me are interchangeable. I feel like when you kind of reach an understanding and a connection with any one of those things, you can kind of bring that into your energy at any point, right? Because you've experienced it and you know how you've connected to it and the power of it. So you can then at any point, just through intention, bring yourself back to that state with whatever it is, whether it be movement, whether it be meditation, whether it be a mantra. All of these things are ways to connect with that state, that inner connection.
Exactly. I love that she said that. Thank you. All right. So one of the things I wrote on my notes, I'm not going to get all into the yoga movement now. If it comes up, I'll talk about it later. But
no, listen, this is your space.
Since she brought up the Ho'oponopono, that is so powerful. They say thank you is the most powerful prayer we could say. And even along the lines of, I said our body and our cells hear everything our mind says. And also it's putting it to the higher power, thank you. It's the most powerful. And I'm sure, and I won't get into that story of the Ho'oponopono, but one of the things I wrote down that I wanted to remember to say tonight is that we are so much more powerful than we realize. So that Ho'oponopono is a miracle. Just by saying thank you, miracles can happen, connecting to divine love, and miracles can happen. And we are so much more powerful than we realize. Like, why do we trust our phones and understand this group, I guess, is into it? That's watching. Why do we, people still, they think nothing of a phone working with the Wi-Fi tower, but they don't believe that we have that Wi-Fi tower in ourselves. And the yoga story, it's a silly story, but they all say it, is that millions of years ago, there was violence and war going on. And that yoga got started because a bunch of people went off to the mountains to pray and to just use their energy to send love. If we literally picture, and at the end of tonight, let me know when it's time, I'd like to take everyone through a guided meditation.
Awesome.
Along peace theme, because when we just picture love at a situation, if there's a situation in our life that we're frustrated about, send love to it. And, the vibration of love can can actually cure things with that energy.
Right.
And Ho'oponopono was the perfect example, because the story
Totally.
was a doctor in a hospital that was saying that prayer over the people's names, and they were cured.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I don't know why so many people still think this is woo woo. I mean, it's not. It's energy is real, and unfortunately, even for myself, like I say, when I practice it, it works. But I still
Yeah.
get caught up into the rest of the world and think things have to be harder than they are. Well, I mean, we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
you
work, we
forget.
have to learn lessons, and we have to
Yeah.
work and do things. But
Of course, of course. But like I was saying, I think for me at least, you know, once I kind of come across these certain ideas, um, I start to apply them. And, you know, I definitely feel like my life is so much easier and more pleasant and happy now than it was 10 years ago and 20 years ago, because of these things that I've learned and I'm able to put into practice. A lot of it has to do with intention. A lot of it has to do with gratitude. All of it has to do with energy, right? And how, and my relationship with that energy. But of course, like you said, also, we're human beings. And sometimes I think we forget to pay attention to something. But I think for me, the cool thing about not paying attention to something is, because I have paid attention to something, I notice when I'm not paying attention to something, right? So
you're in the practice now.
right. So the idea of what you just said as well, right? How powerful words are and thoughts, right? When you say something like, "Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I forgot this. I'm so stupid." Like anytime I say anything like that, I'm like, wait, no, I didn't mean that, you know, because I realized right away the power of that. Now, that being said, it does feel a little bit woo-woo to say that. Like, what do you mean words are powerful? Like abracadabra, you could say something and it happens. But that's not how it is. And if you've ever experienced the flow of thoughts and words becoming reality and really affecting reality, then it starts to become clear. Wait a second. I can control everything about this moment just by choosing the right words.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Evelyn saying no self-deprecation. Exactly.
Very good,
Exactly.
Evelyn.
That's
Exactly.
that's the thing. And again, what I'm saying here is like, in practice, once you start practicing it, then you start noticing it, and then that just becomes the way you are. You start to, you know, very often you'll see me in conversation before I speak. I just kind of like, hold on, I'm just finding the right words, because the ones I have are not the right ones. The ones that want to come out are not the right words. And you know, I kind of love that. It's a little quirky, but you know, it's like,
Yeah, I love that you're practicing the pause. Practicing the pause. And I
yeah.
love that you said that your life got easier when you started to apply them, because that's the thing. Like, you practice yoga on the mat and then you take it into your life, or you
Yeah.
practice meditation and it makes your life easier. So, as far as the practical things, why we're talking about this, it does help your life. It's not like going to yoga to stretch. It really helps your life when you're breathing
Absolutely.
through stuff and letting go and learning to be present.
Yeah.
Learning to be present, however,
Totally.
you can. And not everyone does love yoga. So some people get there from, they say, well, I take my walk, or I do this, or I do that. There's
Mhm.
lots of different ways to get present.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Dancing, like I said, there was a guy who, Jesse Howell, who I've had on the show. He's kind of been out of the public for a while, but he had a show called The Missing Link, and he would talk to a lot of very controversial people. And sometimes I would question my interest, right? Because it was like almost bordering like conspiracy theory and fear kind of mindset, but I'm very much love mindset. But Jesse was love mindset. And what was really cool is as I got to know him a couple of years back, he had this thing called the High Vibe Love Tribe, and he would go on just like this, like just live. He would put on some like dance music, and he would just start dancing, and he would allow people to click the link and join, right? So you could like almost like a Zoom, and then eventually there'd be like 10 people on screen just dancing to music and just sharing that vibe. And it was I mean, I did it a couple of times because I was just
I like
watching.
that.
I'm like, I want to do this. I want to join in. I want to feel that energy because you could see the authentic energy that was happening on screen. The people that were just moving intentionally, mindfully, and blissfully. You know, it's definitely contagious. Bliss is contagious.
And you know that's so awesome. And you know what's sad is that a lot of people are self-conscious because they think that they're not good dancers. And I am not a good dancer. I've gotten yelled at Zumba class to being in the front row, and I've had to go to the back. But thank God that somehow I didn't care. And I also was at a gym that was a little easier going. Some of these gyms I wouldn't have got away with that, but thank God I like to dance, and I don't care that I'm uncoordinated. I get called I don't the Elaine from Seinfeld, the way she dances. Thank God I don't care what I look like because I just enjoy it. But it is
God bless
sad
you.
when people won't do it
Yeah,
because they are afraid that they can't
self-conscious. Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
And that's why it is so important to like just love yourself from the inside out and like
yeah,
not worry what anyone like thinks. And
yeah,
the get this,
yeah.
the more you can do it. I've been dancing at work too. I have some at my salon. I've been doing some TikTok videos with clients. I had some people scared. They're like, "Oh my God, I thought you were gonna make me do a TikTok." I said, "No, it's only the people that want to do it." So I've been trying to bring. I definitely need more playfulness in my own life, and I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
try to
yeah.
bring playfulness into my yoga class, and I did bring some dancing into the salon too. And sometimes I will do that a little in a yoga class.
Totally. And you know what? And there's also a big part of that is being in the moment, right? You've got to be in the moment to even do that. You know, and
Yes.
that's it. That's where you connect with the energy, the source energy. Um well, it's awesome talking to you. I want to keep going, but I also want to give you the chance to do your meditation, and we've got
Okay.
about 10 or 12 minutes left here
That'll be
before the
perfect.
hour. And I would love to go through a meditation. That would be cool. What do we have to do?
That will be perfect. All right. So everyone take like a few minutes to get comfortable. If you want to, if you're sitting in your chair, if you want to go lie down, take a second to lie down or get comfortable. Oh, you know what I was going to ask you? Do you have something cool to put on the screen?
I can. I just made you bigger, which would be cool. But you mean like a cool background? You mean like
We'll start like that. Yeah. I was thinking maybe you had a cool thing, but they're going to have their eyes
okay,
closed anyway.
okay,
I'll
okay.
let you just meditate. I'll say on the screen. All right. Let me get my calm voice on. So come to your comfortable seat and just inhale through your nose. Gently inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth, letting it all go. And do that again. And this time repeat your name to yourself on the inhale. And on the exhale, the words let go. And one more time, inhale through your nose, repeating your name to yourself. And exhale, the words let go. And then just gently take some relaxing breaths if it's comfortable for you with your mouth closed, inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And just say thank you to your body. Just thanking yourself for this moment. And in your mind's eye, begin to visualize a white light above your head. It's a crystal ball that kind of looks like a big crystal ball, kind of looks like a disco ball. There's a little heart inside the center of it. It's just sitting above your head, shining a white light above your whole body. And this disco ball is filled with love. So much love and light. And it's swirling around you. And it's beginning to slowly bring the light of love in through your crown chakra, the top of your head. And it's traveling down your body. It's coming into your third eye chakra, filling it with so much love and light. It's traveling down into your throat chakra, filling it with love and light. Traveling down into your heart, filling your heart with so much love and light and peace. And it's traveling into your solar plexus in the center of your body, filling it with love and light. And it's traveling down into your sacral chakra, filling it with love and light. Traveling down into your root chakra, filling it with love and light. Traveling down to your feet. Your whole body is filled with love and light and protection all around you. Take a moment feeling this love that's wrapped around you and inside of you. And now begin to take this light and bring it into your home where you live. And bring it into all the rooms of your home. And in your mind's eye, just picture this big ball of light with the heart in the center traveling through all the rooms. And have it travel to whoever you live with, maybe your pets. And take it out into your car and into your neighborhood. Take it into your workspace, even if you work from home. Take it through your entire workspace if you work. Send it to your family. Send it to anyone that might cross your mind. You might be surprised if something crosses your mind, just send it there. Send it to your friends, your acquaintances, the places you go, the places you food shop. In your mind's eye, just have it travel around to your daily routines, friends, families. Maybe even send it into a situation that could be challenging. And then begin to have this light grow and send it out to the world. Send that love out to the world. And then begin to bring it back. And bring it back to yourself. And picture that light in your heart shining like a diamond in your heart center. And the light is all around you. You're surrounded with love and divine protection. You are safe. You are so safe. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you're so powerful and you're so loved. Take a few moments to bask in this love. And since you're home, you can stay and relax a little longer in the love, or when you're ready to come up, you can start to bring yourself back into the room. And if you're lying down, you want to try to very gently turn your body to your right and just come up very gently and softly.
Wow. Well, I'm back. That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for I usually, after I do a meditation at the end of yoga, I say namaste. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm honored. It was my privilege and pleasure to guide you through that peace meditation. And the light in me honors the light in you all. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. And thank you for bringing that with you to this space. That was really, I really enjoyed that. I kind of wish it was longer. I was really enjoying it there. I wasn't ready to come back. That was great. That was great. Interestingly enough, I know you are not a necessarily like a psychic or a tarot reader, but on the Sacred Spiral Network, there's a lot of readers, and people just kind of come to the shows for readings. And Carol Carr is from Scotland and is asking if we have any messages for her. Do you have any messages? Any, even if it's just like something that we talked about tonight, like advice and therapy and love and just energy, like an energetic response.
Let me think. I am becoming very psychic lately. And
Oh,
just
how did I know
I feel
that?
like I was almost getting something. One of the things I want to say is we are all intuitive. One of the side effects of doing yoga or just being present and meditating, you really become intuitive. So actually, you know what? That's what I'm going to say to Carol, to trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Everything is good. And I'm not just saying everything is good to say everything is good. That flew out of my mouth. So you're where you're supposed to be, and trust yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful, totally beautiful, and 1,000,000% on point. I find myself guided very often, and I say guided, and I don't say that very often, so I was just guided to say that. But I do find myself very often, especially the last couple of days, saying everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen, right? And that's just a great way to be okay with situations that maybe you might not be okay with, and just say, you know what, I don't feel okay about this, but I know that it's supposed to be this way. You know what I mean? And that might be tough to say, especially in light of the last few days, right? But I do feel like everything happens the way it's supposed to, or else it wouldn't have happened that way. Yeah. Right? That only makes sense.
And we don't know if we judge things as good or bad, and we don't know what the whole picture is supposed to bring.
That's right. That's right. And K Weezy's asking for reading, and K Weezy, that is the reading. That's
the reading.
That is the reading, for everybody, for the moment, for the moment. It really is. We all need to realize that everything is okay. And I'm not even saying everything's gonna be okay. I'm saying everything is okay. And as long as you live from your heart, as long as you believe in love, and you are aware of the energy that you are bringing to the surface, right? Everything is okay.
And also, like, it was funny because it was really strong on my mind that I wanted to say today that we are more powerful than we think. And now that my intuition, I'm so mad that it took me till 56 years old to start to follow it. And then in hindsight, I always had it. And there was a time I think I pushed it away. And I also had things with someone that passed away, and they came to me because people think that's bigger. But So people, the ones that are asking the questions, my big message today was you are powerful. We are all psychics. We are all psychics. The more you meditate, the more you're present, it becomes developed. The more you go out in nature. So like Michael said, his life started to change when he started applying it. So you could just apply these things and you will be your own psychic, and it will keep you safe. Also, I feel like the biggest advice I can give to everyone is to trust your own intuition. So if there's fear, you know what? You're going to walk down the right street. You're not going to go out on the road the time of the car accident, because if you're following your intuition, you're going to be safe. Trust. Just, it's very hard because sometimes other people don't want to listen to us, but we have to listen to our own intuition. So sometimes our own intuition goes against the rest of the world. If all your friends want to go down one street, but you want to go down the other one, go down the other one. Like, trust yourself. Trust yourself. You'll feel different things in your body. There's different ways when you lean forward, when I can't think of the little tricks right now, but just trust yourself is
Totally.
the message.
Totally. You know what? And all I'm thinking is, wow, if this was an entertainment podcast, I would be talking about Final Destination, which is one of my favorite movie series, which is all about that kind of like seeing like, ooh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this like foresight thing.
I'm writing it down. Final Destination.
You've never seen Final Destination?
No.
Ooh, are you a movie person? You like movies or not really?
I do. I'm just finally getting back into it.
Watch the very first
workaholic.
one.
I've just started watching TV again. I'm like, I like watching TV.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to say watch the first one. You got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Like, it's a movie, but like it's really well done, and it was so well done that they made like 7 of them. But watch the very first one. I'm gonna recommend that.
Awesome.
Interesting. Wow, Lori, you did it. You were an amazing guest. I know you were nervous and whatever. And I hope you see that this proves you'll also be an amazing host. People were responding to the things you were going to say. Not only that, but I did hold on a second. There's one of these comments that I starred. I wanted to come back to because Michelle Olivier said, I would love to get my hair styled by Lorianne, and then followed up with, it would cover my physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So
thank you. I guess we'll put the links under here, right?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't do that. Let me do that now. And I apologize. Let's do that now. Let's tell people how they can get in touch with you. How can we get in touch with you?
Do my blissbeautybalance.com.
blissbeautybalance.com. Bliss Beauty Balance. I just want to make sure it's spelled right here. Balance.
And you shared, I think you'll be sharing this. My Instagram is Bliss Beauty Balance, but the website is, they can directly get to me. There's so many ways, but
yeah. So Bliss,
you can put my links on here. Thank you so much, everyone, for blissbeautybalance.com, and then the Instagram. He's going to share.
Same thing, and just look for Bliss Beauty Balance on Instagram, and you will find Lorianna there. Let me just go back to the comments here. See if anyone said anything. It's a movie, but I don't drive behind lumber trucks anymore, and you'll get that when you see it. But that's funny. It is a great movie.
Stay away from trucks anyway when I see them on the road.
There you go. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for being a great guest. And I will tell people, we haven't really figured it out exactly as far as like a time and day, but keep your eye out for Lorianna. Her YouTube channel and all of that stuff is going to be going up a level, and her content is well worth watching and what's the word I'm looking for? Ingesting, right? It's not like this doom scrolling stuff. It's like edifying, loving content. So keep an eye out. Awesome. I will be back on Thursday. I don't know what's going on, the end of the summer kind of rush. I don't know who I've got lined up next week on Thursday, or even I think I actually, you know what? I think I do know who I have lined up next week for Holding Space. Let me just take a quick look so I can just get people excited and see what's going on there before we sign off. So yes, I have an evidential psychic medium, Kelly Eckhart, is going to be here on Holding Space next Tuesday. As always, thank you for being here, Lori, and thank you guys for being here. for being a part of this, contributing your energy to it. It wouldn't be what it is without you. I wouldn't come back next week if it didn't feel so good. And you guys are all a part of that. And Lori, you're a part of that too. So thank you for being here. And I guess we will see you guys next week. Adios.
Thank you. Good night.